My beautiful wife and I got married a few weeks ago, and she's still annoyed with me about this situation. My dad asked my mom for a divorce at the wedding, which I get is pretty messed up, but my mom is very reserved in public, so I heard them fighting a bit during pictures, and he asked if she loved him more than her job, and she answered that honestly, she doesn't, and doesn't think she could ever love any person more than her job. So he took his wedding band off and handed it to her. I guess my parents told her parents, and they were the ones who caused the scene. They approached my dad and yelled at him that he was a piece of crap. Everyone did turn and stare, but the groomsmen broke it up pretty quickly. My wife was furious and wanted everyone involved kicked out. My grandparents were asked to leave, but I wanted my dad to stay. My mom left shortly after on her own. My wife has told me that it affects how she views my dad, and she lost respect. I have more sympathy for him because I think he spent a lot of years knowing that job was the love of my mom's life, and that has got to be an awful feeling. Yesterday I commented that I couldn't believe my parents were dating when they've only been separated for a couple of weeks. My wife brought it up that my dad almost ruined our wedding, and he should really apologize, and he's selfish. I said she was being heartless, and she needed to understand that he was hurt and not trying to ruin anything. And I said he doesn't owe us an apology when he didn't cause the drama. She accused me of not caring enough about our wedding. She says I'm being more sympathetic to my dad than her. I see why she can be upset, and I don't want to invalidate her feelings. So, am I the idiot? You are the idiot. Your dad started this. He asked an inflammatory question. Your mom responded in a likely predictable way, and then your dad made it an even bigger deal by dramatically removing his wedding ring and asking for a divorce. Seriously? Do you think he's the victim here? Yes, your father and mother and grandparents owe you and your wife a huge apology for being so self-absorbed that they couldn't behave for a single event that was supposed to be about you and your wife. And if you continue to defend your dad and act like he did nothing wrong, you are indeed a monster. He wasn't the victim. His ex's choices might hurt him, but that doesn't give him a pass to make a scene at someone else's wedding, no less. OP's poor wife. His stunt must have ruined the joy and the experience for her. Using a wedding as a place to stage your life event is selfish. The wedding is about the people getting married. I'm afraid I have to disagree. First, OP heard them fighting during the pictures. That question the dad asked was not the first step in this. There was very clearly a conversation that led to all of this that we're not privy to. It's anyone's guess who or what started the conversation. All we know is how it ended. And frankly, I would have done the same. You act like loving your dad more than your wife is a terrible thing. But OP's wife said she loves her job more than her husband. That's messed up. And I'd give her the ring and quietly walk away too. How can you say he didn't cause the drama when he literally told his wife he wanted a divorce at his child's wedding? OP, how is your relationship with your mom in general? Because you're being incredibly heartless to both her and your wife, thinking this is okay. Kicking your mom out and not your dad? Not being bothered that your wedding was disrupted by the drama your dad started? That all screams total dysfunctional. It's just regrettable your wife only saw your true colors after the wedding. Even with all the layers to unpack here, your dad could have picked any other time, like one day later. But I also have questions. She loves her job, okay. What does that have to do with the rest? Is he this wonderful man and she's neglected him because of her evil job? Or is he an idiot and he's latching on to that one thing? How did we get here? OP, you seem brainwashed entirely. I am 28 female. I work in an office where several people have children. They use the flexible work schedule to do things they need to do with their kids, like dropping them off at places, going to events and school meetings, etc. Just to be clear, I accept this, and I'm glad that they can do it. Anyways, I was contacted about something that would be a seriously great opportunity for my professional development. I could reasonably expect this to take maybe 7 to 10 hours commitment a week, entirely outside of my scheduled work hours. So I reached out to my boss and asked if it was all right for me to do this. I was concerned about some details related to the nature of the position. My boss told me I could not do it, Not because it's not allowed, but because they would be busy those few months and might need me to pick up the slack. I said the commitment was flexible and also outside of regular work hours. I would prioritize my job, of course. My boss said that I had to take the needs of the team into consideration and decline the opportunity. I was frustrated. I said that my coworkers have kids that are at least a commitment of 7 to 10 hours a week. Why are they capable of doing it, but I can't? Then my boss brought in HR, who told me to be more sensitive to the working parents. She said that me comparing a hobby to being a parent was unfair, and other people would take up my slack when I'm a parent. I talked to my mom about it after. She said essentially the same thing. She compared me keeping an open schedule to me saving up flexibility for later when I need it. Was I being an idiot for implying my wanting to take this opportunity is the same as having kids? Not the idiot. Next time, don't ask. Tell them you will be taking time off for your needs. It's none of their business what those needs are, be it children or your own personal development. If they continue to give you problems, then resign and find someplace more in line with what you want. This job may not be the best for you if they are that family-oriented as to have HR actually tell you to put yourself out for other people's families. It's a worker's market right now. Use that to your advantage. Not the idiot. I hate working with parents sometimes. But can your boss tell you not to do it? Like if you took up a pottery class, they wouldn't have a say in it. So unless there are actually elements of it that will affect your working hours, I don't see how they can say no, why it matters if they did. Not the idiot. This isn't a hobby. You said it's for your professional development. Does your boss understand that benefits the team as well? Also, it's bold to assume you will 1. Have kids, and 2. Work there, and the parents will suddenly be willing to help you? I super regret not taking a stand when I was young and single. Why do you need time off around the holidays? You don't have a family? Now I'm married with no kids, and it's basically the same. It's fine for people to bail to go see their kid get 5th place in the class spelling bee, but I've had to reschedule my eye doc appointment 4 times in the last few months. No, your employer is discriminating against you for not being a parent. They expect you to pick up the slack for all of the parents. If they want to provide a flexible work schedule, it should be available to everyone. They're treating you like a second-class citizen. Consider looking for another job that will not hold you back from advancing in your career opportunities. I decided to surprise my husband by picking him up at the airport. The car I went to pick him up in is a rented 2-seater, which I thought would be fine. But he was annoyed and thought I had chosen that car on purpose so I wouldn't have to offer Samantha a ride home. Samantha works for him, but is also a family friend of his. I'm not her biggest fan, but it never even crossed my mind when I thought about surprising him. She's just never been very nice to me and makes sly remarks and acts like I'm an idiot when nobody else is around. In the end, Samantha had to take an Uber home, but that was after my husband offered to drop her home first and then come back for me, which really upset me. We don't live close to her, but we sometimes share a ride home from the airport. My husband told me I should have been more thoughtful and not let old grudges cloud my judgment. We fought because I was angry that he turned something I thought was nice into me being thoughtless. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. I don't know how to put this gently, but hubby's cheating on you with Samantha. The only reason he would be upset that you came to get him is if he was originally planning to travel from the airport with Samantha, and now he can't, so he's angry. Maybe they were planning to share a ride and go straight home. Maybe they were planning to go somewhere else. Who knows, but why else would he be upset that you came to pick him up instead of letting him get his own ride with her? The only reason he would suggest leaving you at the airport while he takes her home is so that the two of them can be alone without you. Because leaving you at the airport, even to drop her off first, makes absolutely no sense. I would have told him that if I didn't want to give her a ride, it wouldn't have mattered how many seats were in the car. I also would not tolerate someone disrespecting me the way you say she's acted with you when no one's around. This in itself lets me know she knows what she's doing is wrong and doesn't want anyone else to see her. I would have stopped dealing with her a long time ago, and I wouldn't stand for any discussion about it. I shouldn't be expected to interact with someone who's continually disrespectful of me. I agree that OP is not the idiot, and her husband is screwing Samantha. That said, I somehow feel like she knew what she was doing. I applaud and call it an incredible move, but let's be real, it wasn't an honest mistake. Everyone's the idiot here. Come on, OP admits they rode together to the airport. OP admits that they sometimes ride together regularly. OP also admits they have a 4-seater car. OP owned the fact you did this on purpose to start something. Now your husband's solution was likely to teach you a lesson. He knows you pulled this on purpose. Don't play innocent. That being said, you both have some issues. Why are you pulling these stunts? And why is he trying to penalize you with the solution? You both obviously have way more significant problems than you trying to be spontaneous. This to me is logical. It seems the surprise isn't that she was picking him up. It's that she rented a 2-seater to do it. If my husband rented a 2-seater car to pick me up at the airport, traveling with someone else or not, I'd look at him funny because we have perfectly fine cars you could have used. Why are you wasting money? Sure, Hubs could be cheating, or it could be that he was figuring his wife would come in with one of the cars they owned and offered Samantha a ride home to be nice, then retaliated when OP showed up in a ridiculous fashion. All these commenters jumping to cheating are a bit ridiculous. The story is too biased. I, 23 female, have a little nephew and niece. My brother called last week and asked me to take them for 2 days, as he and my sister-in-law had a doctor's appointment out of state. I agreed, but warned them that I could only watch his kids Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday I had a bunch of important meetings, and I would be glued to my laptop for hours, unable to check on the kids. He said he got it. Well, Tuesday at around 8 p.m., they were supposed to be picked up at 9:30 p.m. My brother called and asked me to keep them another day because they got delayed and have not even started driving back. I got angry because he had told me earlier maybe I might have been able to postpone most meetings or even call in sick. However, no one was at work at 8 p.m., and I find it unprofessional to cancel the same day without an excellent reason. I told him to come to get his kids, and he became very defensive and rude, calling me unsupportive. To be clear, they went for a tummy tuck for my sister-in-law. No real medical emergency. He called Mom, but she had already gone to bed, and he dared to tell me to drive 1.5 hours to her house, wake her up, and make her take the kids. I said no. We fought more with my sister-in-law giving her 2 cents in the background before they hung up and stopped picking up until the next day. I found a nice babysitter the next day, thankfully, and because it was last minute, I paid $200 for a few hours. Still mad, I just forwarded the bill to my brother, expecting him to pay. My sister-in-law called and screamed her ass off, calling me irresponsible, a B, how dare I leave her kid with a stranger? I was in the middle of work still and hung up on her and just forwarded the bill to her as well. My mom showed up at my house an hour later and took the kiddos. Now my brother's still refusing to pay, and my mom said I was petty. Things come up, and it was wrong of me not to consult them before hiring a babysitter for so much money. Am I the idiot? Edit. I called my brother twice in the morning to inform him of the babysitter. He did not pick up. My mom still works, and if I had taken the kids to her house, it would have been her neighbor Marcy watching them. Not the idiot. How would you consult them if they stopped answering their phones? It is on your brother and sister-in-law to find alternate coverage when they are delayed, but they didn't, so you had to make sure it didn't affect your job. They knew you had to work on Wednesday, and their only thought was to have you drive 1.5 hours to wake up your mom? Nah, I can see if maybe she lived 10 to 30 minutes away. But 1.5 hours? They shouldn't have stopped communicating and need to pay up. This whole situation is on them, and don't let anyone convince you otherwise. Your only downfall was agreeing to watch their kids so your sister-in-law could have plastic surgery. And I don't think you're going to see that money, but I would consider it money well spent if they realize what a horrible thing they did. OMG, they can afford a tummy tuck and several nights away in a hotel, then they can afford to pay for babysitting. You might not get the money back, but pay the sitter, then never take their kids again, not even 10 minutes. Oh, and tummy tucks aren't a real easy recovery. Definitely let them experience the consequences of no longer having you as a resource when she has her vanity procedure. OP, you arranged childcare when you couldn't look after them. Their kids, their bill. Also, no evidence at all, but seeing as you said the appointment was a checkup before surgery, not the actual surgery itself, I suspect there really wasn't an emergency or a delay. They just wanted an extra night kid-free at your expense. Me, 29 male, and my girlfriend, 27, have 2 kids, 1 young male and 1 pre-tween female. Both kids are at school from 9 to 3. I work and provide for the family, and my girlfriend is a stay-at-home mom. Recently, I got more and more annoyed at my girlfriend, as once kids are at school, she won't do anything around the house. She says she's busy with the kids, but they are away at school for 6 hours a day, if not more, and the house is getting tidied when I'm back from work. She wouldn't cook anything unless it's a sandwich, takeaway, or a ready frozen meal, and I have absolutely zero ideas what she does while the kids are at school. I've tried buying fresh ingredients for her to cook with, but they get rotten in the fridge, and if she goes to shop herself, she comes back with more frozen meals. Some fruits like apples or oranges, snacks, bread, and ham for school lunches. Last week, I lost it. There are plenty of jobs around, so I've asked her to either find a part-time job or start cooking since she doesn't do anything all day. She tried to say that she is doing something around the house, but I've pointed out that I help her clean the house in the evening, and the house looks exactly the same after the kids leave for school. And after they return from it, nothing changes until we both tidy up in the evening. My girlfriend got upset with me for saying that and has given me the silent treatment since Friday. Her mother called me and told me I was an idiot for saying what I did when she's a mother for 2 kids. Her brothers are on my side and believe she's just lazy. Am I the idiot? Edit. When I stayed home sick while the kids were at school, she would normally just sit on social media all day or talk to her friends and then claim she did something around the house. Not the idiot. When someone is a stay-at-home parent, they are a homemaker. Homemakers do have a job, looking after the kids and taking care of the home. If she waits until you're home to even tidy the house and expects you to help, then you're right, she's lazy. Being a mother of 2 kids isn't a job. OP, your girlfriend is absolutely lazy and is abusing your goodwill. OP, have you considered her mental health? Is she at all depressed? Her babies are at school and she's seemingly moping around the house, not taking care of things, not cooking. I would maybe just check in to see where her head is before setting an ultimatum like that. Look at those ages. She had children very young, likely before she learned some major skills like how to really cook. Managing a home and kids is a huge job. That they're separate jobs in rich homes should be a clue, and many skills are involved. I'm leaning towards you are the idiot for how you've handled it. She obviously feels attacked. I feel like you could have communicated your concerns constructively rather than losing it. Maybe she's suffering from depression or something and can't face the amount of work. Maybe she needs help working out a system or a plan or schedule. Maybe there's more to her day than you realize, and she's telling the truth.